Inspired by the earlier post about what men don't get enough credit for, what are some things women don't get enough credit for? Story 1. I have worked in conservation, a warehouse, and the education sector. The hardest working and most passionate people were always the women. My team leader, who made us jog up a mountain on my first day, was a woman half my size. The candle shop I worked for was run by a woman who never seemed to realize she made some of the most in-demand, best quality wax church candles in the country, and she started it as a favor to her brother. In my experience, women have a more beautiful relationship with life than we do, and that being a skill issue means credit to women. Story 2. People talk about how amazing it is that women give birth, but very few truly appreciate it. Even women who haven't gone through it themselves do not always understand the intensity of the entire ordeal. If society genuinely appreciated this, women would not be expected to do anything during pregnancy and postpartum. Of course, some women have been convinced that it is a badge of honor to not be pampered while pregnant. However, pregnant women are meant to be pampered and taken care of by the community. They should not have to lift a finger. In general, women are expected to function in the same way men do, despite many having debilitating hormonal cycles. Women are also more likely to have chronic illnesses and still manage to function. Their physical struggles are real and far from exaggerated. Story 3. I have always believed that a universal basic income would disproportionately benefit women, as there is no clear market solution for being a full-time caregiver, a vital role in society often fulfilled by women. What is the annual salary of a full-time stay-at-home parent? $0. Our sense of value in society should not be based solely on market perceptions. Story 4. Being kind, supportive, and positively challenging. A good woman will build you up in ways nobody else can. Do you have a dream to achieve a certain milestone? Great. She will push you toward it at every opportunity. She will dismiss your excuses and aid you in whatever way she can. She knows this matters to you and believes in you. Her kindness is unparalleled. She truly values you. It's purposeful, meaningful, and deep. This is the friend who can casually tap into your deepest inner struggles while also keeping things light. The kindness that involves little trinkets and gifts that touch your inner child. The kind who understands your sense of humor and would move mountains to hear your genuine laughter. She will compete with you in a healthy manner, not to determine who is better, but to raise the bar for both of you. She is unafraid to challenge your nonsense, just like any true friend would. If you are behaving poorly, she will point it out, not emotionally, but with sound logic based on what you say, not how she feels about it. It is often assumed that a good woman possesses these innate qualities, and her actual effort to be this kind of person is not truly appreciated. Story 5. Giving birth involves carrying a baby for 9 months, enduring significant pain to bring them into the world, and often facing postpartum challenges afterward. To all the mothers out there, thank you for your strength and resilience. You are amazing. Story 6. Their role in history as socializers is significant. You often hear phrases like cook, clean, sew, have children, but arguably their most important role, aside from having children, is their social role. Women are hardwired for it and, throughout history, have been the reason men stayed connected. Men tend to be loners or form groups for lack of a better term, but women's existence necessitates coming together, building, and improving. Women have extended this by maintaining good relations, organizing social events such as festivals, discussing tribal affairs to gain knowledge about situations, and assisting in finding partners for their children. These activities were once prevalent, but in recent times, women have not served as the social glue between communities due to various changes. As a result, we see people struggling to find community, marriage partners, and so on. It is honestly something that nowadays is not regarded as important as it once was. Story 7. Women who sacrifice their careers to be the primary caregivers in their families often feel undervalued in their relationships because their financial contributions are less significant. My husband says, I have all the tools, motorcycles, guns, and everything else I want because I bring home more money. It's not just about sacrificing careers to parent, but also about managing numerous responsibilities, including avoiding daycare costs, cooking, cleaning, organizing extracurricular activities for the kids, school pickups and drop-offs, assisting with homework, attending doctor's appointments, grocery shopping, ménaging finance, planning vacations, taking care of the animals and attending all veterinary appointments. I will never understand why earning more money absolves someone from contributing to the home or children, aside from leisure activities. Whether single or married, the responsibilities remain the same. I have very few luxuries and apparently don't deserve them because I earn $90,000 compared to my husband's $150,000. I intentionally work remotely so I can transport our kids to and from school, cheerleading, and hockey, even though I earn less due to these additional responsibilities. It is still his truck and his everything because he makes more money than I do, and he is more than happy to dismiss every non-financial contribution I have made to our home. It is frustrating. Story 8. Taking on the mental load of the household is challenging. My husband is amazing. He helps with cooking and cleaning, but he places most of the mental responsibilities on me. I am expected to determine what needs to be done and inform him. It is exhausting to constantly consider everyone's needs. Story 9. Most women I know who are funny often hear, "You're actually really funny. What do you mean by that?" Story 10. Dealing with people who look down on them or do not take them seriously in professional settings is undeserved and unjust. Story 11. As a woman, I receive a lot of praise. However, being physically attractive plays a significant role in who receives it. My physical appearance has changed significantly over 20 years, and it is remarkable to look my best at 38 and notice the type of treatment I receive now. If I were 15 years younger. Story 12. Engaging in life peacefully. Women do not often engage in violence, wars, murders, or revolts to the same extent as men. While such cases do occur, they are typically exceptions that prove the rule. For example, if abortion bans were directed at men, the country would likely be experiencing a civil war right now. Story 13. Mental load and details. Your wife likely has a good estimate of how many toilet paper rolls are left right now. A woman's memory and brain processing capabilities are remarkable. It seems that biologically we cannot rely on physical strength, which has directed time and energy into other areas. I rarely hear people praising women for this. However, most traditional female jobs, such as nursing, administrative assistance, teaching, and homemaking, involve substantial mental loads. For example, it is mentally more challenging to plan family meals for the week than to mow the lawn. Story 14. Accepting poor sexual experiences that are one-sided and focus solely on male pleasure, without consideration for mutual enjoyment and female orgasms, has been a recurring issue throughout human history. Story 15. The ones who excel at communicating are supportive of the men in their lives and are fiercely loyal. Story 16. I am not sure if this is exactly a credit issue, but I want to talk about childbirth. Carrying a baby for 9 months requires making lifestyle changes to support that life, followed by the experience of giving birth. All I can say is wow. All mothers deserve the utmost respect and care because, without them, we would not be here. Story 17. Menstruation, pregnancy, and menopause. Each of us is a product of an egg that a woman carried, whether through in vitro fertilization, natural conception, or surrogacy. The hormonal changes that occur as we enter puberty, experience each menstrual cycle, and begin pregnancy are significant. Women are born with a specific number of eggs, in contrast to males, who can produce sperm daily. Once a woman runs out of viable eggs, menopause occurs, introducing another set of hormonal changes. These fluctuations make us susceptible to various conditions, including some cancers and arthritis or osteoporosis. While acknowledging the contributions of men, it is important to recognize that women are complex and extraordinary. The human body, in general, is truly fascinating. Story 18. Standing with a stick of cotton or a small blood-stained diaper, experiencing the pain of what feels like a knife being dug into your lower stomach and a vehicle running over you, all while you smile and carry on a conversation or take care of children, including my elders. Story 19. Dealing with pain. As far as I am concerned, women are much better at it than men. Of course, there are exceptions, but it is astounding how much I have seen women power through some pretty horrendous pain. Story 20. I can't remember a time when I wasn't scared of being a woman, and I feel people don't realize the mini panic attacks we experience throughout life when we think we're in danger. It starts with elementary school dress codes. Wondering as a 6-year-old why I have to hide my shoulders or can't wear shorts. Why is that man making weird remarks to me? Why did my mom tell me as a little girl that if a man rubs my shoulder or elbow, I should tell her? It's hard growing up in a world where you constantly have to be on guard and cautious around every man you meet, just in case. Then you grow up and it only gets worse. You send your friends your location in case something happens on a first date, or you decide to get a firearm because you've heard about an increase in sexual trafficking in your area. Over 90% of women, more like 97%, have been sexually assaulted, and we are almost just waiting for something worse to happen than it already has. Story 21. Not sure if it's universally true or just my experience. When a group of friends includes women, the group becomes much livelier and more active. They don't even have to be doing something. Just their presence changes the group dynamic for the better. Story 22. Being emotionally open to others is important. They often do not receive enough recognition for their beauty and kindness. Story 23. Their unpaid work includes housework, childcare, planning, cooking, elder care, all while working a full-time job. Story 24. In general, I think they receive a lot of praise for their appearance and their ability to give birth, but people tend to criticize most other aspects of their behavior. Story 25. Bonus points for those of us who have to find every single item our partner puts down because he never puts anything in the same place twice. We deserve a lot of credit. Story 26. Coping with their own feelings. Women likely have similar impulse control as men, but are not socialized to maintain composure in challenging situations. Women who make an effort to avoid centering themselves in every space, work on their communication habits, practice emotional maintenance, and genuinely care about listening to others often go unnoticed and unappreciated. This happens because everyone, regardless of gender, tends to pay more attention to women in distress. Both genders can fall into fixer roles, but women are often more prone to becoming invisible in this area of labor. Story 27. Being tougher than anyone gives them credit for. Life knocks them around a lot and they take it like a champion. There are no weak spots. Story 28. Having and raising happy children is important, especially for single mothers. However, for some reason, people tend to speak negatively about them. Story 29. Skin care and fragrance. I have great skin when I am in a relationship because my partners have encouraged me to use lotion and sunscreen. Story 30. To be plain, they keep the world running. Do not believe me? Just search for the Icelandic women's strike of 1975. Story 31. Being a good stay-at-home mom is a rarity due to the economy, but it is a 24/7 job. Some may lose themselves in the process if they are not careful. Story 32. Dealing with men can be surprising. I often wonder why they don't create their own community and let us fade into a dystopia. However, I am glad they choose to stay. Story 33. It seems many men dismiss women's complaints about other men because the men described are not like them. Story 34. They don't give up on love as easily as men, and they have much more reason to be honest. However, most guys get their hearts broken once and decide to be unkind to women forever. Story 35. As a woman, we have to make money, carry to term, give birth, breastfeed, deal with postpartum depression, cook, clean, do laundry, drop off and pick up children, attend appointments, vacuum, mop, sweep, solve problems for others, and manage the mental load of it all. I've seen men receive praise for simply taking their kids for a walk. It's exhausting. Story 36. Women face significant challenges in the dating game. While it is positive for men to speak up about the negative aspects of dating, statements that begin with "all women are unhelpful." It's important to recognize that everyone is in a difficult situation with no easy solutions. Story 37. Women often do not receive recognition for their contributions in areas where they are in the minority, such as sports and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or in areas where they constitute the majority, like caregiving and homemaking. The responsibilities of childcare and household chores, including laundry, dishes, and cooking, disproportionately fall on women. This is often overlooked and regarded as their responsibility, especially if they have children. Conversely, in fields where women are the majority, men are more likely to receive acknowledgement for their accomplishments. In science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, women have played vital roles in developing safety standards for food, automobiles, and railways, reducing pregnancy-related mortality, advancing maritime navigation, and creating drugs for leukemia. However, these significant achievements are infrequently recognized in educational curricula or mainstream media. Story 38. Children, especially when they sacrifice their own happiness to raise them properly, are literally the most important aspect of human life. Story 39. I will discuss physical pain and resilience. Although men are generally stronger physically, women can often withstand the mental aspects of physical pain better than men. Story 40. The fairer sex. This phrase couldn't be more accurate. It's a tragedy when a woman who takes good care of herself feels she isn't pretty. Women are naturally beautiful in general. Other women often admire a woman's beauty more than most men do. I recently heard an interesting quote that resonated with me. Men are masters of our physical world. Women are the creators of it. Name a more iconic duo. I'll wait. Story 41. All the small tasks many women take on at home, especially when children are involved, often go unrecognized. Some may dismiss this and argue that they receive ample credit at a societal level, but I have known many women who do not receive recognition or appreciation for their efforts. Story 42. Many men take for granted the domestic labor performed by women. Most men do little to no domestic work or parenting. When they do the dishes or take their child to the playground once a month, they believe they are doing something remarkable. Many men refer to helping their wife, when domestic labor and parenting should not solely be the woman's responsibility. It is, or at least should be, a shared responsibility. Even if both partners work full-time, the mental load, domestic labor, and parenting often fall on the woman's shoulders. Moreover, the fact that most women continue to tolerate this situation is nothing short of a miracle. Story 43. Women don't receive enough credit for being unaware of their spouse's needs, despite their declarations of love and their partner prioritizing the woman's needs. Story 44. Their strength comes from being women and embracing femininity. Some women, though not all, believe that to be powerful, they must imitate hyper-aggressive and abusive masculinity. Masculinity is about humility and protecting those you care about, while femininity embodies grace and social insight. There is undoubtedly more to this, but the point is that a woman at her peak of femininity deserves more credit than merely becoming a lesser version of a man. We appreciate women being their true selves, not embodying toxic traits. Story 45. Generally speaking, at this moment in history, nothing quite literally a woman might do is applauded and celebrated. If she is doing something, she is getting credit for it. Story 46. The sheer immensity of the levels of evil they possess. They can be the most kind, gentle, sexy, and thoughtful individuals in the world. They can love you, care for you, and nurture you. They can be your friend and your shoulder to cry on. They can embody everything good in the world. Then you come home and find them with someone you've never met in your bed, leading to a divorce where they take half your belongings and half your paycheck in alimony. Story 47. Their selflessness. My husband does everything to provide us with a beautiful life. Edit. I misunderstood the post. I thought it was asking about what men are not given enough credit for. Story 48. Having discipline and high standards is important. I believe society often glorifies women who act without considering the consequences, even when such actions are self-destructive. Story 49. Women often seek recognition for their contributions, even when the quality of their work may not meet expectations. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.